Hello there. My name is Suzusehiro. The issue of forced workers is emerging as a new friction between Japan and South Korea. I will explain in full detail the problem. During the War of World War II, Japanese people were recruited and worked in the munitions industry. Koreans under Japanese rule at the time were recruited and worked in the munitions industry in the same way as Japanese. The state forced the people to work to carry out the war. In a militaristic nation, the freedoms and rights of the people were not protected. And that was exactly the situation in Japan at the time. The precise history is that both Koreans and Japanese were exploited by militaristic nation. It is true that there were discriminatory treatments against Koreans in some places. It cannot be said that Koreans and Japanese were treated completely equally. However, recent South Korean activists consciously expand the partial facts and claim that the Japanese had made Koreans slaves. This clearly has the intention of inducing misleads to humiliate Japan. Next, I will explain compensation from the Japanese government to South Korea. Japan and South Korea signed a comprehensive agreement in 1965, and Japan paid huge compensation to South Korea. The South Korean government had taken the position that post-war compensation has been settled. However, the South Korean government gradually changed its position each time political power changed. Around the year 2000, the South Korean government began to assert that only compensation between nations have been resolved, and that individual compensation have not been extinguished. Japan proposes that if there is a conflict between the views of the two countries, it should be settled in the International Court of Justice. However, the South Korean government has refused to bring this matter to the International Court of Justice, because they know they won't win in court. Nevertheless, the South Korean government cannot resist domestic public opinion. South Koreans do not think it is important which claim is consistent with the principles of international law. The South Koreans hope that Japan will apologize whenever Korea wants an apology and that Japan will pay forever whenever Korea wants compensation. It is justice for them that, because of revenge on colonial rule, we can continue to violate the dignity of the Japanese forever. That is justice for those who judge by emotion rather than law. If South Korea claims that Japan committed humanitarian crimes during World War II, the winning nations of Europe and the United States will help Korea, and Japan will have to apologize. That's an exciting event for them. They want to continue that relationship forever, continue receiving apologies from Japan, and continue to receive compensation from Japan. So they believe that it is also justice to unilaterally overturn international agreements against Japan. Again, Japan is trying to bring this matter to the International Court of Justice, but South Korea has been refusing. The South Koreans believe that we are justice, despite refusing to solve fairly in the judiciary. and they continue to make self-righteous demands on Japan. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.